Sheryl Swoopes is experiencing a great deal of regret as a result of the fact that Caitlin Clark's new boss, Kelly Krauskopf, has publicly called her out. Swoopes caused a significant amount of controversy when he made a veiled reference to the fact that players in the Indiana Fever locker room did not wish to form a partnership with Clark. He implied that there might be tension or discontent among the players. Nevertheless, Krauskopf did not remain silent. Clark was praised for her incredible playmaking skills, and she even went so far as to compare her to NBA star Tyrese Halliburton. She responded by dismissing Swoopes' claims and praising Clark for her incredible playmaking abilities. Krauskopf did not mince words when he stated that it is abundantly clear that any intelligent player would be thrilled to play alongside someone like Clark, who possesses unrivaled court vision and the ability to set up teammates. In addition, Krauskopf is not the only person who is supporting Clark. LeBron James has also weighed in, describing Swoopes' comments as pure nonsense, and he is aligning himself with Team Clark. Caitlin Clark has become an extremely important player for the WNBA, as evidenced by the fact that such prominent figures have gone out of their way to defend her. Instead of taking place on the basketball court, the drama that is taking place between Swoopes and Clark's supporters feels like it was taken from a reality show.
I would think that if you are a smart basketball player and you watch the way she plays, you would want to play with her. She, much like Tyrese Halliburton, she gets you the ball in places that you didn't even know you were open. Because she passes to space, she finds openings and ways to free up other players. So, I look at just really how her and Kelsey work together and the efficiency of the offense because of the way that she plays.
The compliments that Krauskopf gave to Clark brought to light her exceptional capacity to improve the performance of her teammates. Her emphasis was placed on the fact that Clark is able to identify openings on the court that other players are unable to see, thereby creating opportunities that players might not have been aware were available. Clark has become the focal point of the offense being run by the Indiana Fever as a result of his playmaking abilities, which have earned him comparisons to the best players in the NBA. This is not simply about passing the ball. Rather, it is about establishing an offensive flow that results in a complete transformation of the game. Clark and Kelsey Mitchell, who is also a rising star in her own right, have come together to form an electric duo together on the Fever. Because of the chemistry that exists between them on the court, the team's offensive efficiency has increased, demonstrating that Clark's presence is more than just hype. It is altering the way that the team plays.
WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
The comments made by Swoopes, in which he questioned Clark's influence, have not aged well. Despite the fact that Sheryl Swoopes was unquestionably a legend in her own time, critics have pointed out that her underestimation of Clark's abilities and the negative narrative she attempted to spin around the Fever's team chemistry appear to be out of place. Krauskopf's rebuttal, along with public support from LeBron James, has quickly shifted the narrative. Swoopes' remarks even hinted that some players didn't want to stay with the Fever, but Krauskopf's hard-line response has quickly changed the narrative. When it comes to the future of the team, it is becoming more and more obvious that Clark is not only a valuable player, but also an essential component. The comments made by Swoopes have, if anything, served to strengthen the support that Clark has received, as an increasing number of individuals have come forward to defend her expanding influence within the WNBA.
She dominated, so when she says you won't come here and dominate off the rip, averaging 17 is not dominated compared to averaging 30-something for 4 straight years.
But that was also like the first half of the season.
Clark's ability to lead the Women's National Basketball Association in assists during her first season speaks volumes, despite Swoopes' reservations. Despite the fact that she is already demonstrating that she is one of the most talented players in the league, she is also demonstrating that her skill set goes beyond the typical metrics that are used to measure performance. Swoopes may have anticipated that Clark would have a difficult time dominating in her first season, but Clark is demonstrating that dominance can take many forms. She is demonstrating that dominance can be achieved through scoring, assists, or simply commanding the court in ways that very few players are aware of. While Clark's game has progressed since she was a college student, her leadership and playmaking abilities have remained the same. When it comes to her position in the WNBA, the debate is rapidly shifting away from whether or not she is dominant and towards how long it will take for her to establish her legacy.
Right? She's a rugged girl, right? She's built for trying to bully. She's a bullier, right? No one feels sorry for the bullier.
She's not a bully.
Caitlin Clark's ability to lead the Fever has been called into question by Sheryl Swoopes, but her attempts to do so have resulted in astonishing failure. The comparisons that she made to players like Angel Reese, who is known for her physical and rugged style, further emphasize the contrast between Clark's finesse and court vision and the more aggressive play of other players. Not only did she miscalculate how the league and fans would react to her comments, but she also made comparisons to players like Angel Reese. Critics such as Swoopes continue to underestimate the broader impact that Clark is having on the game, despite the fact that she is concentrating on boosting her team's morale and providing scoring opportunities for her teammates. However, the reaction to Swoopes' statements has been swift, and it is evident that fans and fellow players are not buying into the narrative that she attempted to push.
I love her game. I think Caitlin Clark is an incredible player, but I also think Angel Reese is an incredible player. I think Kim Jackson's an incredible player. I love the fact that Kate Martin is on the Aces. She didn't know if she was going to even make it to the WNBA. So for me, it's not just about talking about one player. It's about talking about all the players that continue to uplift this game. They continue to bring more people to the game. I don't know.
In light of the fact that Swoopes is beginning to reverse her decision, it is clear that the pressure exerted by Clark's supporters as well as WNBA fans is having an effect. Swoopes has changed her tone and now acknowledges Clark's talent, despite the fact that she initially did not place much importance on Clark's contribution to the Fever. But there is no turning back now. In light of the fact that Krauskopf and LeBron James have publicly expressed their support for Clark, it is abundantly clear that the basketball community acknowledges Clark's significance. Swoopes' comments appear to be out of touch. No longer is it merely a question of whether or not Clark is a fantastic player. Rather, the question is whether the league is able to rally around her as one of its new superstars. And if Krauskopf and the leadership of the Fever have anything to say about it, Clark is going to be at the center of that conversation for a considerable amount of time to come.
And you're just so beautiful while you do it.
Thank you.
And I'm just so proud of you. So I'm going to give you your flowers.
Not only does Krauskopf acknowledge Clark's contributions on the court, but he also acknowledges her contributions in other ways. Clark's entry into the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, has resulted in an increase in the amount of media attention, new fans, and a revitalized marketing push. There aren't many instances in which a rookie player can completely alter the landscape of an entire league, but Caitlin Clark has done exactly that. Ticket sales, fan engagement, and sponsorship deals have all increased as a result of her presence, which has allowed the Indiana Fever to capitalize on her presence. There is no denying the impact that she has had, and it is abundantly clear that the Fever consider Clark to be the foundation of their future. It is possible that Swoopes initially attempted to plant seeds of doubt. However, the leadership of the Fever and the league as a whole have already recognized the tremendous potential that Clark brings to the table. There is no other word to describe the remarkable impact that Clark has had on the Fever's fan base. During this season, the Fever have established new attendance records, with over 600,000 fans attending games. This success can be attributed in large part to Clark's presence. This is not a coincidence. Rather, it is evidence that the Fever's investment in Clark is yielding results that go well beyond the scope of her individual performances. It is precisely because of her capacity to attract large crowds and raise awareness of the WNBA that Krauskopf and other prominent figures in the league are firmly supporting her. The earlier comments made by Swoopes appear to be a distant echo at this point, as the leadership of the Fever continues to build around Clark. This is laying the groundwork for Clark to become one of the most influential players in the league for many years to come. In other news, it would appear that the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame has directly trolled Sheryl Swoopes, a legend in the Women's National Basketball Association, by placing a sign of Caitlin Clark in an unusual location. Prior to and throughout the Rookie of the Year's remarkable debut season in the major leagues, Swoopes made a number of jabs at the star player for the Indiana Fever at various points. The native of Iowa, on the other hand, preferred to do her talking on the court, where she produced an average of 19.2 points per game, 8.4 assists, 5.7 rebounds, and 1.3 steals, in addition to shooting 41.7% from the field. The injury sustained by Angel Reese resulted in a nearly unanimous vote for Clark to be named Rookie of the Year. Only one voter thought that another player would be a better choice than the 22-year-old. Clark's performances have even earned some praise from her most ardent critic, Swoopes, in a significant U-turn from the four-time champion and three-time WNBA Most Valuable Player. However, this has not prevented the Basketball Hall of Fame from maintaining its playful positioning throughout the years. In 2016, Swoopes was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and as a result of her remarkable career, a banner is currently displayed inside the venue in Massachusetts. Nevertheless, a poster depicting Clark proudly holding a basketball while wearing her Fever kit has been carefully positioned beneath that banner presently. The ribbing comes after Swoopes sent Clark a number of messages expressing doubts about her credentials. These messages began during Clark's time as a college student, when Swoopes asserted that Clark's NCAA Division I scoring record wasn't legitimate due to the fact that she was a 25-year-old player in her fifth year. Before Clark arrived in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, and began a massive surge in popularity, viewers were eager to watch her play. At the time, Clark was 22 years old and in her fourth year at the University of Iowa. Swoopes was exaggerating the situation. On the other hand, the 53-year-old remained unimpressed and asserted that Clark's success in college basketball was due to the fact that she typically took about 40 shots a game. Swoopes did not even mention Clark when she was praising the Fever for their incredible post-Olympic performance. Instead, she mentioned Lexi Hull, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aaliyah Boston, while ignoring the superstar who was playing on the same court as them. Clark was the driving force behind the Fever's incredible performance. After stating that Clark did not demonstrate dominance during her first season in the Women's National Basketball Association, WNBA, it appears that someone at the Hall of Fame took matters into their own hands by making fun of Swoopes while she was standing under her banner at the museum. Nevertheless, Swoopes provided some rare optimism in spite of Fever's elimination from the first round of the playoffs, which suggests that the tide may yet be turning. During an episode of the Queens of the Court podcast, Swoopes admitted, "I just thought what Caitlin was able to do coming into the league this season, she was just crazy. Just shooting the basketball, her ability to put the ball where it needs to be when it needed to be there." What are your thoughts on this situation? Let me know down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.